Okay, and looks like we're getting rolling here. So yeah, this is still Metroid Fusion. The computer is still way too talkative.
Nope. Fun fact, we're actually playing Zero Mission. It's just a little plot twist there. This is actually the Zero Mission 90% tournament. We're about to do AWS in about 16 minutes here.
Please, if this were any percent Zero Mission, we wouldn't have nearly as many people entering because people are afraid of AWS. Yeah, but it's I'll make note again. MetroidMaster is actually going for an alternate climb there. It's a little bit slower, but it's easier to do because the optimal climb is actually pretty tricky. Now, I'm not exactly sure what items these two tend to pick up. I'm probably going to assume, unless they see anything to the contrary, they're each going to get 3 energy tanks and 40 missiles. That's pretty common, but I don't know.
JC is a fairly old school runner, so I would not be surprised if he did the 3 tank 40 missiles.
MetroidMaster, I don't know. He might opt to grab an extra E-tank for safety, or maybe grab a go 45 missiles. I know I like to go 4 E-tanks, 45 missiles, just because you don't, because it's actually, it only costs you a few seconds to get the extra missile tank, extra E-tank, and it gives you a whole lot of security.
I prefer 20 E-tanks, 250 missiles, and 74 power bombs.
Yes, we get it. You run 100%. Okay, so hearing some folks confirming that JC does do the 40 missiles. But that's, I think we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. We still have to get the missiles in the first place, and hopefully have the button that activates them work.
Who needs missiles when you have the default beam?
Everybody, because the default beam is actually terrible. That little pea shooter does so little damage, and missiles do 10 damage at the get-go, which is a big improvement. And some things just can't be hurt by your beam. Doesn't matter how powerful your beam gets throughout the game. Missiles are the only thing that'll damage Core X's, and there are a lot of Core X's in this game. And you also see MetroidMaster and JC doing some fanciness there, where they somersault onto a platform and shoot right before they land. That's because when you want to spend as little time jumping as possible, because jumping is slow compared to running. So if you shoot before you land, Samus pops out of the somersault, which makes her hitbox taller and lets her land and start running a few frames sooner. So you do that throughout the run, you save time. If you miss it even once, you have just lost all the time you would have gained from doing it throughout the run. It's kind of one of those things where we do it all the time anyway, but it's definitely a low reward, high risk thing.
It's basically arm pumping in SM, but to a larger extent. I think shot canceling on platforms saves a little bit more than arm pumping, but it probably loses more time than failing an arm pump on a
failing an arm pump doesn't actually lose you time, but failing a shot cancel loses you the better part of a second.
Yeah, and what I mean by failing an arm pump is, I guess, just doing it on a downward slope. I don't know why I put it that way.
Well, actually, no, that does actually still work. That would be the closest thing to failing an arm pump.
I suppose.
All right, but now they're both on their way to the first boss and the first eye door. Going to pick up a couple of missile tanks on the way so that they have enough missiles to deal with Arachnus, the first boss, which takes 15 missiles to kill. And they're going to try to get a double missile on the eye door, because at this point, 3 missiles beats the eye door, and if you can minimize the number of times it can possibly give you eye beams, that's great, because eye beams are one of the RNGs in this game that we hate so very much. JC's already getting 2 right from the get-go. And he gets a double, though, so 2 beams, very nice.
Both of them got 2 beams.
Very good.
JC got an eye door double, which basically you shoot, and you shoot... Okay, you jump, and you shoot 1 missile, and then you spin, and then shoot another missile, which syncs them up. Because if you are spinning and you shoot a missile, then it like comes out behind you. So it'll sync up and you can skip a cycle.
Yep, but it turns out that MetroidMaster makes the time back because JaySee gets 1 roll from Arachnus and MetroidMaster gets 0. And they both get a double and a single on the Core X to finish it around the same time. They're actually pretty much in perfect sync right now. Yeah, now we're just going to see any time lost in game at this point is going to be mostly just based on clean movement. Because it's not like you can take any drastic shortcuts or skips in this game. The event system has you pretty much on firm lockdown. Thanks for nothing, Computer Dad.
Basically, the main way to go fast in this game is to go fast. That's about it. You really don't have to worry about much else besides good movement.
Yeah, it's pretty good movement and good boss execution. That's all there is to it. You can do those 2 things, you can have a very strong time.
Mm-hmm. And then the RNG elements really don't come into play until you're competing for either a top time or a world record.
Yeah, it's pretty much unless you're in sub 50 town, RNG is the least of your concerns.
Mm-hmm. Also, surprising that MetroidMaster actually skipped the main deck missile. Was not aware that he did that.
I guess he's just going to go for, he's going to go for 40 missile, which is honestly pretty standard. I mean, as long as if he doesn't do the fast strat in the Horror Node room in Sector 1, and he just avoids damage, he should be fine. But no, yeah, that's actually one of the reasons you would grab that missile tank, aside from having more missiles for bosses, is that this first visit to Sector 1 is actually pretty intense on missile management, because you don't have the charge beam yet, so you need to use missiles for a lot of things, from killing enemies so you don't have to jump over them, to dealing with these basically large HVAC units that are being infected by the X's, to the eye door. So you gotta try to keep full health so that the enemies will always drop green X's, and also to not use more missiles than necessary so they can have those 3 missiles needed to open the eye door once they get to it. Otherwise, I gotta take a detour into another room, and that just wastes a whole lot of time.
Yeah, so this sector is really dependent on keeping your health high. If you have max health, then you are guaranteed to get missile drops, which you need a lot of missiles in this sector to keep going fast.
Yes, indeed, both of them doing that. And let's see the strats they use in this room JaySee is in. Yeah, I figured they would opt for the jump strat to keep a high missile count. You pick up... Oh, MetroidMaster actually trying to go for the faster strat. Unfortunately, he takes a couple of bonks, kind of offsetting the time you would save from doing that. Yeah, it's unsurprisingly, or I guess depending on how you look at it, surprisingly, another one of the things that will save you a lot of time is going through rooms without running into enemies a lot, which seems kind of self-explanatory, but at the same time, Samus gets knocked back enough that you lose a lot of time. You start bonking into enemies a bunch.
Yeah, Metroid is actually on really low health. He got really poor RNG in the Pirate Shaft and took a lot of hits. So now not only is he very low on missiles, but very low on health. So there's a good chance that he'll have to grind quite a bit here.
Either that or hopefully get lucky and get a green drop or 2 off the pirates in the vertical room, or maybe be super lucky get a red. But that's pretty rare.
Yeah, red X's can be dropped from any enemy. It's a 1 in 1,024 chance, so it's really rare. But eye doors give them 100% of the time.
And oh gosh, he got the double yellow, so he's just gonna have to. He's just look at him doing these acrobatics, baiting those pirates, and almost hit it through.
Oh no!
He almost made it out of there just dodging them all.
This is not good.
Yeah, MetroidMaster's going to
So
lose some time here. He can farm. He's not in danger of dying, honestly, because he can just farm green X's in that one detour room. But he's gonna lose some serious time here, unfortunately.
yeah, he's gonna have to grind off of these horn nodes that are in the bottom left door of this room that you don't see unless, or you're not supposed to see unless you're doing hundo. So he'll have to sit in here and get 2 green X drops.
JaySee doing a strat I don't often see on that beam core and actually getting a double that way too.
So MetroidMaster just got a red X off that horn node. And then a 0 beam.
Well, there you go.
That might be the best stretch of RNG I've ever seen.
That's pretty ridiculous. I don't know, Monkey. The other day I was a beep strats in the vertical climb with the pirates, and one of them dropped 2 red X's for me.
That is a very, very low chance.
Yeah, it is. I feel like I should have been playing the lottery, but anyway. But no, anyways, it seems that both of them made short work of the charge core. Those beam cores are extra annoying because, unlike normal core X's, you can't just shoot them whenever. You have to wait for them to open their eye and actually shoot the eye. So getting the doubles is a little bit more challenging. You have to actually position them just so.
Yeah. That is for whatever reason, that core is really annoying to get doubles on. Like, I just don't know what it is, but a lot of people struggle with that core to get doubles on it.
Usually it's the second missile that gives folks trouble. The first one is you shoot it when you start dropping after you bonk your head on the ceiling. But the second one, you either shoot it too early and it tinks, or you shoot it too late and it just doesn't come out.
Mm.
But MetroidMaster trying to line up the charge shot there, because they now have a charge beam. The charge beam is an incredibly useful item in this game, in part because of the same the property that lets them one-shot those atmospheric stabilizers.
So now JaySee will be heading into Sector 2, which, instead of conserving missiles, you want to conserve health, because there are enemies all over the place called Zoros. They're the red worm slug, whatever they are, and they do 45 damage every single time you run into them. So if you take 5 hits, you're dead. And there's a lot of enemies everywhere here.
They're big, they're on the floors and the walls, and if you kill one of them, chances are it'll respawn somewhere inconvenient. So they're just going to be in the way constantly for the first several rooms of Sector 2.
Yeah, this sector is really scary. It's already taken many, many, many lives in both the 100% tournament and the any percent tournament.
Oh yeah, it's actually kind of unique. This first visit to Sector 2 is that regardless of whatever category you run, it's a very dangerous sector.
Mm-hmm.
JaySee seems to be having a little bit of trouble with the tech smash in there. Just I guess maybe a little bit out of practice on that from just running the JP version more often than not. But the two of them are still pretty darn close to each other, even with MetroidMaster's trouble in Sector 1, so he could very easily make a comeback here in Sector 2. There's a handful of RNG factors, including one very annoying boss.
Good old Zazubi.
Yes, indeed. Alright, now you're going to see in this first room here, make full use of the charge beam to take out any Zoros that are in the way, and hopefully get good movement positioning for them. So, oh! Took a little bit too long to climb. Hopefully, you want to beat that X4 reforms there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh, and he's hit 2 Zoros so far, and just like that, down to 117 health.
Yeah, just like that. There's a room coming up here that someone has already died in this tournament twice. And it has a lot of enemies. It has 1 Zoro and 2 flying buggy thingies. I don't know what they are. But they also do a lot of damage. So there's a lot of potential to take upwards of an E-tank of damage in that one room alone.
Yeah, this is a sector where it's very important to basically learn just where the enemies can be and just have plans for dealing with all the possible placements.
Mm-hmm.
But JC picking up the bombs, an item that is not as useful as it sounds in this game, unfortunately.
The bombs went from being really good in SM to really bad in Fusion. Like, they are really bad in this game. Not only do they have a very long cooldown, or a very long explosion timer, so long in fact that you can't even infinite bomb jump in this game at all, but it also has a very small radius compared to other games.
Yeah, like, it's like if you're trying to use it just to bomb up a little bit, like right there where you saw JC go up, if you drop it more than like half a block back, it's not even going to launch you. The blast radius is laughably small.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point, with bombs in hand, I don't know what you'd say there, but both of them are just going to be on their way to where Zazabi is. Their healths are both in good shape here. Not the pancakes shouldn't give JC much trouble, even if he does happen to run into them. All they gotta do is just make it through one more room that has a few Zoros in it, and get ready to face off against the jumping fiend.
Ouch, missile. Well, this run doesn't even matter anymore.
Didn't get the one frame trick?
Mm-hmm. So basically, ouch missile, I don't know if MetroidMaster even attempts it, but it's completely pointless. It's just for swag. You just shoot a missile through the bottom of one of the enemies in that room, and it just connects to the other side, hits the other door. It saves no time, and it probably actually loses time if you have low missiles, because then you'll have to wait for the red X, but it's just for swag.
Meanwhile, JC is just having seems to be having a terrible time with Zazabi here, just giving him all sorts of jumps he doesn't want to be getting. So MetroidMaster getting that extra E-tank. If he gets low jumps, he can make up some time here. Unfortunately,
not if he
getting
gets another 4-beam.
He only got a 3-beam, which is not great, but not as it could have been worse.
What is it? In the race earlier today, both runners got a 4-beam on that door.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
So no jumps so far.
JC getting the E-tank on the way out.
Wow.
I don't think I've ever seen someone do that.
2, 3, 4. Aw. MetroidMaster had a perfect first two phases, but unfortunately had a kind of a bad one. And ended up with 5 jumps, which is still really good RNG.
Yeah, 5 jumps is... Getting 5 jumps is still something you should be happy with. Although it seems to have dropped the double a little bit. So gets 2 singles and a double. Oh gosh, JC. JC, why? Jesus.
Wow. So basically, JC went a little too early there, and the SAX hadn't completely left the room. So it aggroed onto him before he made it through the door.
But
so he had to jump over the ice beam shot.
Yeah, otherwise JC would have just died outright. In any percent, you don't skip the sacks like that. The sacks just ruins your day. JC going for the bombing strat in the main room. Losing that half second.
Yeah, in that room, it's the first room is Sector 2. When you're escaping, if you go up the left side, it's usually 0.5 seconds faster. But if you have bad movement, then bombing the wall could be faster.
Yeah, it's the way basically if you can bomb with TAS precision, bombing the wall is faster. Otherwise, for us boring humans, just go left.
Mm-hmm. Plus, it's a lot easier. You don't have to worry about like the couple wall jumps you have to do. All you have to do is just have good shot cancels, and it saves time.
Yes, indeed. But thankfully, both of them make it out of Sector 2 unscathed. Now they can high jump and jump on Morph Ball. Nice. What better way to celebrate that than by heading to Sector 4?
Only the best sector. Not only does this area have the best music in the game, but you get to fight a really fun boss.
Which has the best boss music in the game, conveniently enough. But we kind of mentioned it briefly earlier. The charge beam is actually extremely important here because charge beam actually has 3 pieces. It has 2 shots and a flare. And when you have a fully charged charge beam and you hit something with all 3 of those parts, it does what, like I want to say 27 damage, isn't it?
26.
26.
Both of the 2 parts of the shot do 10, and then the flare does 6.
Yeah. So compared to 10 damage for a missile, the charge beam is the way to go. So the boss in this area, Ceres, we can take down. Rather than having to deal with what is it, like 5 missiles, you can take it down. You can take it down with 2 charge shots, assuming you hit it with a flare. So charge beam makes that boss fight way shorter. There's also some a little bit of complex movement here. Can be very easy to fall in the water if you're not careful. Your jumps aren't on point. So let's see how they do moving through Sector 4.
Yeah, so kind of a cool, I guess, intended tech. If you have a charge shot and you do a spin jump, you get what's called a pseudo screw. So basically, you can just jump through any enemy that'll die in a amount of charge shot damage. And it makes some of these rooms really interesting for movement.
Yeah, no, it's. I actually really like Sector 4, even though it can be incredibly annoying, just because when you pull it off, the movement looks really smooth. The boss fight is a fast Ceres is still impressive, even if you've done it a million times. And just even when you come back to Sector 4 later, it's just a cool sector. Ooh, MetroidMaster having a little bit slightly sloppier movement there, but still. And JC about to face off against Ceres, so we're going to see him set up for the first shot because we always know where Ceres is for the first shot. The first shot is free if you can get the timing right. And thankfully, since Ceres's movements all happen in pairs, if you see the first movement, you can figure out where it's going to be for the second one. Oh,
ooh, I think the first shot might have been a little early. If not, then that one was.
I think the second shot looked a little bit early, but oh man, yeah, he wasn't close enough for that one. He missed with the flare.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're looking at a 4 shot. Ooh.
Yeah, that's showing the importance of making sure you have your good positioning. Because if you miss with the flare, then you have to it just flies around. It just flies around for a few seconds and you lose time. So this is a chance for MetroidMaster to gain back some time here. But it looks like JC is having no trouble with the core, though. He gets 1 double, 1 single. If he gets 1 more double, he will have... There we go. Has a good core fight. And MetroidMaster got no I-beams on the door either, so he's in great shape to gain back some time here if he has a good Ceres. Oh, no!
Oh.
MetroidMaster! Oh, no!
Both of them fell in the water at the same time, but MetroidMaster's was by far worse because he missed the first shot.
Oh gosh, I'm surprised he took that shot there, because when it's flying horizontally, he could have set up on the left platform to get a flare shot. I guess he just wanted to just... Oh.
This is an interesting strat. It's definitely safer, but slower by quite a bit long shot.
Yeah, it's definitely... I'm surprised he's taking this option. Maybe it's... Did he never learn the Ceres movement? Because I mean, it's because everything else in his run is because I know MetroidMaster is more of a ZM runner than a fusion runner, so maybe it's just like he just got a very good time because he has solid movement in other spots, but just never learned necessarily the specific boss strats for Ceres.
Yeah. So JC is about to attempt a trick called low height. Basically, when you shine spark, you are. Oh, he didn't get it. But
the wrong way.
When you shine spark, you are already at a specific height, which is just too high, just barely too high to make it through that little gap. But if you morph and then bounce and then shine spark right after, you actually shine spark closer to the ground, which allows you to get through that little gap, which saves a little bit of time.
It's actually kind of a similar idea to shot cancels. Basically, you're taking advantage of the fact that Samus's hitbox changes depending on what she's doing to be lower to the ground. MetroidMaster unfortunately losing some more time in Sector 4 because he's told me he's never quite been able to get the shine spark in the room after Saris, so he had to actually do it the intended way, which cost him quite a few seconds.
So basically now JaySee is off to Sector 3 to go pick up super missiles and then fight a very, very, very fun boss.
What are you talking about, Monkey? All the bosses in this game are fun.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Some folks calling me out, which is good knowledge. I actually was not aware of this. If you try and get the low height shine spark in Sector 4 and you realize that you miss it, shine sparking left to set up for just running is actually faster than shine sparking right and just running back to the left. So, good to know. That hadn't occurred to me. Thank you. Thank you, Pelsmore and Jagger.
Both of whom are very good runners of this game.
Yes, indeed. I'll have to remember that because I still miss the low height shine spark pretty regularly. But it's
so now in Sector 3, everything's red, so that's a thing.
It's supposed to be the hot sector. Red implies heat, I guess.
Ooh!
Whoa, JaySee. Ooh, look at JaySee doing the fancy one-frame trick there.
And it didn't... he lost time because he got a low height.
JaySee, you got the hard part and you missed the easy part. That's what I do, please.
Either you shine spark... You're supposed to shine spark either in the air, or once you hit the ground, and... he decided to shine spark really close to the ground, but not on it. So, yeah.
Yeah, but thankfully we're going to be getting a lot of use out of the speed booster that we got from Saris. It's one of the most useful items in the game. In fact, right here, JaySee's going to try for a shine break, which he gets,
Ooh.
which is basically crouching on the block right as you're running on it and breaking it with a speed booster, allowing you to shine spark up this vertical shaft. That's one of those things. I don't think that's like a glitch, but it's definitely one of those things where like, oh, what a convenient thing we can do. But now they're just going to get the best missile upgrade, the super missiles.
Is JaySee gonna get it?
I think he did it way too early. I don't think he's going to get it. Yeah.
Yeah, so that trick is called Data Spark. Basically, you have to have a speed boost and slide onto the platform, and then crouch at like the last possible second, and then what you'll be able to do is shine spark out of the room, which saves probably like a second. It's really not that big of a deal, but it's pretty cool.
Alright, JaySee facing off against Box here, having a little bit of trouble getting the first few hits, but he's got into the positioning that he wants, so it should be pretty easy to hit it from here on out. And there we go. Had a pretty solid finish. Missile count's a little bit, yeah, missile count's a little bit tight though. We're going to see how he handles the rest of Sector 3 here, because he wants to have 3 missiles by the time he gets on the elevator out.
Yeah, so if you don't have 3 missiles leaving this sector, opting to go for a missile drop there. But if you don't have at least 3 missiles coming out of this sector, you'll have to opt for a shine spark. That's a little tight. It's not that bad, but it's a little slower than just missiling.
Yeah, because among other things, one of the things you do with a normal strat is you bomb a hole in the wall so you can grab a missile tank on the way out of Sector 6. But if you're doing the shine spark, you can't do that, so you have to bomb later, which loses you It loses you the
Well,
time that you gain by doing the Shine Spark.
you can do it. It's just really tight. It's just not kind of worth.
Yeah, it really isn't.
Also, I'm not sure, but I think MetroidMaster got Data Spark, unless he charged a spark and just at the end of that room.
Oh, I think he. That's right. He does that. He actually Shine Sparks left across the next room instead of just running across and running back.
So yeah, it looks like he's kind of struggling to manipulate Box a little bit here. He's running really low on missiles, and he's really far to the left.
Yeah, it seems like MetroidMaster just having a little bit of trouble with just getting some of those optimal boss strats. I mean, he's got safe strats. I mean, he's in no danger, but he's just losing time.
I feel like he's definitely one of those runners that values consistency over speed in these type of situations.
Which honestly, in a race like this, with a category like this where it's very easy to die, if you can finish the run consistently, that'll win you more races than you think.
As evidenced by both the first two races.
Oh gosh, but unfortunately these side hoppers do damage, and he has some serious damage, and he has no missiles, so he's gonna have to... He might opt to take a refill on the way out, actually.
I would definitely do that, because he's fairly low health, plus he has no missiles.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
So now JC is in Sector 6, which is really dark. It's kind of scary. Don't have nightmares about it, though. You can have those later. Probably in about an hour from now.
Wrong sector.
Or an hour, a half hour.
Yeah, I think they missed a golden opportunity of having Nightmare be in Sector 6, the dark sector. No. What the heck?
Yeah. They definitely could have put Xbox in Sector 5 and just had him... Because he does, like, freeze because you shoot ice missiles at him. It just kind of makes sense.
I guess. Yeah, those blue X's, though, if you go the wrong way, there's a bunch of them, but on the intended route, there's only a few. You don't really have to worry about them too much.
By the way, if neither of these people go for wave doubles, I'm gonna be really mad. Because they're 100% consistent, they're so easy. That's a lie, by the way.
Yeah, it's... I couldn't even think of something to follow that. It was just kind of like, wow, this lie is so blatant. I got nothing.
Yeah, basically, the joke there. Wave core doubles, which we'll see later. Well, you won't see them later, but the wave core you'll see later. Basically, doubling that core is really difficult. It's like triple frame perfect. So it's just not it's not really worth it to go for them, because not only you have a chance of losing a lot of health if you miss them, so
yeah, because
it's just kind of a meme.
Yeah, the Core X's, even later on, once you have better armored suits, Core X's still do a lot of damage, which is kind of funny. I mean, sometimes you be like, man, I beat that hard boss, then you get bodied by the Core X and you feel like a chump, but you shouldn't, because Core X is hurt. Speaking of Core X's, we're about to face against the big boy of Core X's, the Giant Core X, my least favorite boss.
Yeah, the biggest Core X that doesn't even deal the most damage makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, but we're going to be taking advantage of those flares again. Hopefully keep it... Oh, JC lost it a little bit. Ideally, you want to keep it on the left side of the screen, but he still gets the 4 cycles, so good on him. Although, since we got super missiles, doubles are actually a little bit harder to get now because there's a longer cooldown between missile shots. But JC still manages to get doubles with no trouble. Has a solid Giant Core X and Core Fight.
Yeah, so basically, for every missile upgrade, not only do you have a longer cooldown in between missile shots, but your missiles fly a little bit faster. So by the time you get the final missile upgrade, diffusion missiles, it's very difficult to get doubles.
Yeah, I mean, even among top runners, you'll see they'll be very consistent at getting doubles with the first 3 missiles, but with diffusion, even the top runners can't get them consistently. They're extremely difficult to get.
But now we have the greatest suit in Metroid history.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. I was getting a vomit bag for the suit.
What the? Are you saying that the mustard suit isn't beautiful?
That's exactly what I'm saying. In fact, I'm looking at it is actually giving me a little bit of a headache.
That's not very nice.
Well, neither is the suit, so it all kind of balances out.
Wow. Sorry, we've only got like 25 minutes of this. It's not that bad. It's only like a third of the game.
Let's see how MetroidMaster deals with Giant Corax here. Hopefully he can... Oh gosh, he gets away immediately. Yeah, Giant Corax is just kind of awkward in its movement, because most of the time it's off the screen, and you want to hit it, try to get it with a charge shot and the flare, but if you don't, then it just takes a lot longer, and ugh. So let's see if we can get some doubles here. Yeah, usually the strategy for dealing with upgrades is to try to jump even higher to get to fly at you at a higher angle, which makes it a little bit easier to time the shots. But even then, it takes practice, really, just kind of experimentation and figure out the timing for yourself. It's one of those things about learning this game that's surprisingly difficult to explain, even if you watch tutorials. You just kind of gotta watch other folks do it and then just do it yourself until you get it.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like really difficult to understand, I guess. But like once you know how to do it, you just kind of know how to do it. It's one of those things where it's really hard until you get one of them, but as soon as you get them, then it becomes really easy. So now JC is going to Sector 5, which is the first of 3 visits we'll be taking here.
Yep, Sector 5 is a sector that we see a lot of the rooms, the same rooms, multiple times, which means Sector 5 is also the sector where it's very easy to forget where you're supposed to be going if you're not careful.
Rasu. Sorry, what?
Shout out to Secret Key. No, but yes, thankfully there are several visual cues that will tip you off that you forgot a thing or you went the wrong way. Some mistakes are more costly than others.
In particular, if you forget a certain item that goes by the name of ice missiles, you can lose upwards of like 45 seconds to a minute because you have to go all the way back and get them.
I still say it's not quite as costly as forgetting to get the power bombs, because if you go the wrong way and have to do an entire lap of the sector, you're losing a couple of minutes at least.
Ooh, yeah, that's bad.
I've done that before, it's pretty bad. But thankfully, it looks like JC knows exactly where he's going and is actually doing pretty well going through these rooms. Those rippers have an annoying tendency just to kind of meet you by running into you with their face, so as long as you just can deal with them as they come and not get knocked around, you can have a nice smooth room and not lose time.
Yeah, so at this point we can definitely see JC is pulling a decent bit ahead. So at this point I think it's going to be pretty difficult for MetroidMaster to catch up, unless JC dies, which is always a very real possibility.
Yeah, Fusion is very unforgiving in that regard.
Yep.
Unfortunately, though, JC is about to pick up the missile downgrade, which makes me sad because it's just not as satisfying as super missiles.
Mm-hmm. And really, the ability of freezing enemies isn't like that cool. Like it's just not that helpful. It's helpful for like maybe like 10 rooms in the game. Really, it's just not amazing though.
Not to mention in a couple of spots where the game wants you to use ice missiles, you can actually just get away with using jump extends.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Just gotta make do with what you get. And unfortunately with ice missiles, even though they do more damage, you can never one-shot enemies again. You can only two-shot enemies now, because one of them will always freeze, and double missiles are now harder again, because that cooldown has gotten longer.
kind of the same situation with Ice Beam in pretty much every Metroid game, where it just takes an extra shot or two to kill enemies now. It's just not amazing in a lot of circumstances.
Yeah, but what can you do? The event system is a harsh mistress. But that little shadow in the background means that JaySee isn't going the way he needs to go. It also means we're about to come up on everybody's favorite meme section of the run.
Emergency!
Dun 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 dun. Yeah, it's this is actually a great time to mention just to reiterate just that the combination of movement and just good boss strats can makes all the difference in this run. So, MetroidMaster is playing competently, just that he's having a lot of trouble with those bosses, and that's giving JaySee a lot of time to pull ahead. Alright, but the emergency, the section that JaySee is in right now, is actually one of the more challenging bits of movement in this run. You have to go down through lower sector 3, which has a lot of lava and a lot of enemies that like to knock you off platforms and just do damage, the stretchies in particular. So you just have to have your route plotted out and just make good use of missiles. This section is very missile heavy, so you want to have a high missile count heading into it.
JaySee has more than enough missiles.
Yeah, he does. But he also made a mistake there. I don't know why. It looked like he was trying to shine break there. It's like, why did he turn around where he did? Way too soon.
Typically, a good time is right around 425 and above is like pretty good.
Yeah.
Anything above like 415 is, you know, respectable.
Yeah, so it's just a combination of having good movement through here, making good use of your missiles to deal with the stretchies, and then just being able to deal with the core X. It's going to be another beam core. Ideally, you want to get 2 doubles on it, but if you don't, that's just going to take longer. This room in particular can definitely lose you some time, but JaySee is just having really clean movement through this room. That was really solid. You can 440 door time. That's darn good. No complaints there.
If he gets a double, this will definitely be at least a 425.
It looks like he's not going for the usual double setup here.
Ooh.
This is an odd setup for doubles. This one is like there's a couple of easy visual cues, but even if you know what they are, sometimes you just still miss them. It's kind of awkward.
Yeah, this is still gonna be a very low 420. Yeah, like 420, 29 is I think what I saw.
Yeah.
So still not bad at all.
Yeah, not at all.
Meanwhile, MetroidMaster is just about to enter the same segment.
Yes, indeed. MetroidMaster now starting out his own emergency. So we'll get to see how he does. I'm actually curious to see what his movement's going to be, because he's been doing a lot of alternate movement strats. So I'm curious to see how he's going to handle some of these rooms in lower sector 3. So we're probably going to have a high five in the big room at the top of sector 3. Words. Doing some ice missile fanciness to climb in a very cool way there. Actually, wait. There is going to be no high five. They're going to go on opposite sides of the same room. Alas.
Ooh. So now JC gets to go up the best elevator in the game, the main deck elevator. Shoutouts to that one.
Oh, yes. Which means he gets to go do the most important part of the game, save the animals.
Why?
Because they're our friends. It's the right thing to do.
If only we had good ol' power bombs at this point.
We'll have them soon enough, don't worry.
Spoilers?
Please, that's like claiming that there's going to be Metroids in a Metroid game as a spoiler.
That is! You never know. There's not really Metroids in this game. I guess they're not, like, typical ones, I guess.
There are absolutely Metroids in this game. What are you talking about?
I mean, they don't hurt you. They're just minor annoyance.
The Metroids in this game don't hurt you.
Wait a minute. No, I forgot about the Omega Metroid. Never mind.
You forgot about the big boy.
Never mind.
MetroidMaster having a looks like he's probably gonna finish with a low 4-minute, looks like.
Possible strat, come on. No.
He tried to go for impossible strat, did not get it. Oh gosh, I think he's just oh no, JC tried to get fancy and just had to reset the room.
No.
What is he?
So basically, that strat there, what you're supposed to do is wall jump up, like just a small amount, and then come back and shoot an ice missile down 2 times to freeze both of the stretchies. And it's pretty difficult, but it saves a lot of time over just doing the normal strat.
And JC, let's see if JC gets fast animals. It does. Those Edakuns just came out one after the other. I don't think I've seen that one in a while. MetroidMaster on his way out of Sector 3. While JC is on his way down to Sector 5. Oh god, why are we getting close-up of this suit? I can't believe someone thought it was a good idea.
Cringe. So now we have to go talk to the computer again, and he's gonna send us back down to Sector 5 so that we can go get the whooshy whoosh.
The loud bombs.
Yeah, the big bomb, the big boy.
Yeah, this second visit to Sector 5 is movement-wise is a little bit trickier than the first visit, because now with a couple more tools in the old tool belt, it's actually brings with it more complicated movement tech, including the first Sector 5 Shine Spark. And let's see if JC decides to get saucy and try the Kadoom strat in the one vertical ship. Oh, he's not grabbing the missile tank.
That is interesting.
I guess
he's doing 35 missiles?
Either that, or he might grab the missile tank right before going back to the ship.
He could be, but I don't know. I wouldn't pick those up if I wasn't... I don't know. Picking those up is slower than getting that one past the elevator, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's definitely a curious choice. Maybe he just feels really confident about his missile count, or he maybe just forgot. Because
that could be a thing.
JC's been running 0% a fair bit in relatively recent memory, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's one of 2 people with a single segment 0% time on the speedrunner.com boards at the moment.
Oh,
So,
you might be a little bit too low to get the shine spark. No, I think he's got it. He's got it.
he's got it. He'll just have to ledge grab.
Or not.
Never mind.
Look at those skills.
So 35 missiles in this category is actually optimal. It's just really inconsistent, so nobody does it. And it really doesn't save like enough time for it really to be worth it.
Yeah, it's one of those things about this category. It's that you'll see folks grab extra E-tanks, extra missile tanks. It's not necessarily optimal, but considering how volatile this category can be, it's very much a safety thing, very much just kind of a feeling comfortable doing what you're doing. Oh, MetroidMaster running a little bit too far out there, not getting the shine break. Gonna have to do this the intended way. Let's see how he gets, how good his animals are.
By the way, the SAX is in this room.
Yep, and JaySee not quite getting a good place in there, so he had to jump a few extra times to get out of there alive. Because you have a various suit, which means you can't get frozen, but the Sax's Ice Beam will still do like 200 damage. It hurts.
Yeah. Yeah, if you have a really good room there, you typically won't see, or you typically won't have to jump over any Ice Beam shots. You'll just be out of the door in time.
Oh, there it was. JaySee did the Kadoom strat, and it looked real nice. That is such a cool climb when you do that.
So
Just
now
like
that we have the whooshy whoosh, we'll be heading back up to the main deck.
Yeah, we might get an elevator high five.
Maybe.
Either that or JaySee will get off the elevator right as MetroidMaster is coming down. I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah, I think JaySee is gonna be off of it just a little before MetroidMaster gets on it. Although...
Yeah. Oh, MetroidMaster's getting the missile tank. Absolutely, then.
Huh. That's... I don't know. I've never actually thought to do that, but it's kind of interesting.
Now, grabbing the main deck missile, usually if someone grabs it, they're going to grab it before Sector 1, so it's definitely surprising to see him grab it this late.
Yeah. Hi, Ridley. I wonder if we'll see him again later.
Oh good, we're having fun with Acid Spit. Oh, so JaySee is going after this missile tank.
Interesting.
That's not what I would have expected, because like you said, this... I thought that
I
tank
don't
was
know
slower.
if... That might actually be faster. We would have to time it, but... That might actually seem a little faster than going past the main deck elevator, but I'm not sure.
We could time it, or we could wait for someone in chat to tell us we're idiots and give us the correct time, whichever happens first.
Alright, everyone in the chat, you already know what it is. It is time for 4-round Yakuza.
Why do you want our racers to suffer like this?
Because 4-round Yakuza is beautiful. You get to see the spider tick thingy, whatever it is, for even longer.
Well, at the very least, we get to hear that awesome Ceres boss music, because Yakuza uses the same boss music.
Yep. Of course, like, the two worst bosses in the entire game use the same music, and it's the best.
It's the developers having a little bit of mercy. Yeah, but someone asking about saving. Chances are we're not going to see. Most racers aren't going to save, and if they do, the stopping at the ship is probably going to be the one time they save, just because you don't have to take a detour for it.
JaySee is opting to be pretty safe with his E-tank amount, Normally, I would. Oh, MetroidMaster. Oh,
Oh no!
no!
Oh no!
Oh,
Oh
that's
gosh.
rough. I think Flipside might have had the same thing happen to him in his race. I think that's where he died, but I'm not 100% sure. That's really rough though.
I believe he died at the Sax chase after Yakuza, not the one in sector not the one in sector 5. Oh gosh, and on the SRL channel, MetroidMaster has unfortunately forfeited from the race.
That's really rough.
Yeah, Paul's more confirming that Flipside died to the Sax chase in sector 2, one that comes right after Yakuza. Oh god, that's an unfortunate way to go, though. Sax is just... Regardless of whatever time you run into Sax can just ruin your day. Regardless of what the category is, it's terrible.
So all that JC has to do now is just make sure that he finishes the run, and he'll have the win.
Yeah, it's one of those things where we generally encourage folks to restart, but this is late. It's an hour and a half run, so we're 2/3 through the run at this point. So it's almost like, unless JC dies, then MetroidMaster making a comeback at this point would be very rough.
I'm sure now that JC has seen that MetroidMaster is dead, I'm assuming that he's gonna at least take a couple safety saves just to guarantee.
Possibly.
So.
I guess we'll have to we'll wait and see what he does. At this point, there's still a handful more bosses to worry about. But I guess we'll see. Oh, getting the music change skip there. Yeah, this part right here was oh gosh.
Oh no. Okay.
Okay. Whew. I think JaySee87, rather than taking safety shots, he's going to take give the commentators heart attack strats. It's fine. It's fine.
Sorry, we've only got like a little under 20 minutes left of that.
But we're coming up on the one of the least exciting bosses, because it literally just doesn't move. It's time for Notori, which is humorously enough one of the despite being a stationary boss that does very little, is also one of the reasons we grab extra missiles, just because.
JC missed the Red X, so he's going in with 34 missiles, which is really rough. So he's gonna have to use a lot of charge beam shots.
And it's just extra power bombs, extra charge beam shots. Slow him down a bit, but he should be fine on the missile count, because his health is also very high, so he should get decent green drops.
That just kind of sucks. Definitely slows down his fight quite a bit. Still ended up pretty solid though.
Yeah. Man, he makes the doubles on this core look easy. I hate doing doubles on this core. It's a short room and you have ice missiles, so the timing is tight, and you also have to use the space jump, which in this game is incredibly finicky.
Yeah, space jumping in this game is really stupid. Like, for whatever reason, you have to go... I think your, like, downwards velocity has to be at a certain point before you can space jump again, or something stupid like that.
I always thought it was that you have to release jump a certain number of frames between space jumps. That's what I thought it was.
I'm not sure.
All I know is that just when you think you have it figured out, you drop it and then down you go.
Yeah. Now, oh boy, we get to have one nightmare of a fight.
You're not even the first person to make that joke.
Yes, I know. I'm gonna make it a point every single race I commentate to make that same joke, because it has never been used before. Never.
Next gen, if you're out there, I need you to go to wherever Monkey is and slap him.
What? What?
But it's time for Nightmare, which means going back to Sector 5. Time to do probably the coolest Shine Spark in the game. It's definitely a cool looking trick, unless you're Paulsmore, in which case you do Nightmare Space Boost, which looks even cooler but is exceedingly difficult.
Yeah, Nightmare Space Boost isn't even worth it. It literally saves half of a second, and it's just really stupid, because if you mess it up in one of the first 2 rooms, you lose upwards of like 15 seconds, so it's just not worth it.
Yeah, so we're probably just going to see JC set up for the Shine Spark, go through several rooms, and then get ready to fight the sad microwave.
The sad microwave.
That's kind of what it looks like. I mean, can you think of a better way to describe what the nightmare looks like?
No.
What do you all think? What do you think? What do you think when Nightmare shows up? Tell me what you think Nightmare's face looks like.
It's either like I don't know, it's like a goofy like TV.
Goofy TV? Okay, that's I can see that.
I don't know.
I see face melting goodness. I see droopy. I'm going to change gravity. Gets him every time. I don't know. I can't do a very good droopy voice. But the fact of the matter is, Nightmare is 3 phases of annoying. Well, actually, more like 2 phases of well, more like 1 phase of annoying. But that 1 phase is very annoying. It's annoying enough for 3 phases. Basically, you give it a charge shot and a missile to put into phase 2. Then you have to make sure that the rest, phase 2, all your shots you have to be lined up with it. Otherwise, your missile just kind of falls to the ground because gravity shenanigans. And then phase 3 is just trying to control the Nightmare, because Nightmare does this fun thing where it chases either you or an invisible dot. And you have to try to get it to line up and start moving slowly again after it's moving fast. So let's see how JC does. I think he should be in good shape. Man, that was real good.
Oh my.
That was real good Nightmare.
Slick.
Oh, I like that. I like that strat. Dropping the power bomb to draw on all the X's. That's one of those things that it makes sense, but never really occurred to me. But I like it. He has a good core fight too, so that was a very good Nightmare fight.
Oh, we're saved.
My eyes, they're happy because this is a purple and teal, which is a nice combination.
We went from mustard to
Look like gushers.
Eggplant and blueberry.
Can you come up with a combination that actually works instead of whatever the heck you just came up with?
No.
No, wait a second, blueberry.
That's as good as I can think of. Eggplant and blueberry.
Blueberries? It's teal! Blueberries aren't
That's close
teal.
enough. It's a
what the heck
shade
kind of fruit are you
blue,
eating?
maybe?
No, it's not.
Definitely eggplant and blueberry.
Oh my god, I don't even... JC just styling through this chapter, just moving around, not taking any hits, just making it look easy. Holy crap, he's having a great underwater Sector 4 here.
Taking his anger out on the low percent fish.
Did he just... I didn't know...
Yes, he just wasted time to charge shot the low percent fish.
No. If you drop the power bomb to activate after you land on the platform, even before it says that things are unlocked, you can still open the red door early. That's kind of neat.
Yeah, as soon as you step on the button, the doors activate. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I guess so, but I never realized that before. That's cool though. Oh my goodness! But those are the make it through the room with the Evers, whatever the heck those, however the heck you pronounce it. We looked it up the other day. This isn't. It's not like a seahorse.
I mean, I don't know if we're talking about the same enemy. Never mind.
Talking about the thing that looked like small dragons.
Yeah, the seahorse. It's either a seahorse or a shrimp.
So, part of me wants to see the world through your eyes for a day, just so I can figure out what the heck you're talking about most of the time.
This is what you get when you look through the eyes of an alpha gamer.
JC about to get the last missile upgrade, which adds an effect that's more or less worthless, which is too bad, because actually it would be. I wish they would have done more with it, because the diffusion effect is something that's kind of unique, but just not terribly useful.
Yeah,
and it also makes doubles damn near impossible in a lot of cases.
Yeah, it's a cool concept, but like, doesn't really add much of anything. It saves like a little bit of time here and there, but it's more
useful 100% for breaking missile blocks more quickly.
Yeah, there's only one situation in this run where you actually use that ability.
And you just saw it a moment ago.
Well, okay, then I guess two, because you need it coming up in Sector 1 unless you want to shoot 3 missiles at a wall.
Well, in 100%, you mean?
No. Like the little room that you go in after you go to Ridley. You like come back and then...
You're right,
yeah.
you're right. Yeah. Okay. That slipped my mind, you're right.
I can't wait to fight the Xbox. He's come out of the living room and he's invaded your video game, and now he's here and you gotta shoot him with missiles.
Yeah, it turns out Microsoft's so proud of their Xbox One X, Nintendo came out with it many years before. Oh, in this case, the One X is a very big X. And it shoots beams at you.
And you can get swag doubles on it.
Yeah, horizontal doubles. I'm still not even trying to set those up.
No, you don't do horizontal. You do vertical. And they're just really stupid. But yeah. It's like horizontal plus vertical. It's really weird.
That sounds weird. Yeah, but the fact of the matter is, the X that we fought earlier is back with different attacks and a shorter room, so now it can actually knock you off the ceiling when it's jumping, which is annoying, because there's also electrified water, because why not?
Yeah, actually I'm pretty sure the room is taller, it's just that box can actually reach the ceiling now. Like you can just jump higher, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah.
Well, yeah, regardless of which of the two it is, it can knock you off the ceiling now.
Yeah, his vert went from like 30 inches to 40. It's pretty sick. He can now play basketball with the big boys.
Yep, and it's one of those things where you don't really notice it much just because our runners are very good at it, but hitting that center bit is actually a bit harder than it looks, because it's not just flush with the top, it's actually like in a bit, so it's very easy to tink on the legs.
Come on. No. It's not even going for him. SMH.
Do you go for him?
Yes. I am specifically, in my race, I am specifically getting 6 E-tanks, just so that I can attempt them safely.
I'm going to make sure to watch all your races and call you out forever if you don't.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna get one, I promise.
Y'all heard it here
get one this
Y'all heard it here, folks. Y'all heard it here.
It's going to happen, I promise.
All right. All right. And yeah, in case you were worried there weren't going to be any Metroids in your Metroid game, look, Metroids.
Those aren't Metroids. Those are space jellyfish.
That's pretty much what Metroids are.
No, they're not. They're... Never mind. I was trying to think of something to sound intellectual, but... Yeah. They really are just space jellyfish. With, like, jello in their heads. Anyways, we're in Sector 1 now.
Yes, indeed. We are in Sector 1. Surprise, surprise. And actually, we're not quite in Sector 1. We're trapped in the second longest dialogue of the game.
Yeah, we're actually in this 3-room sector. It's pretty sick.
4-bit. Well, it was bigger, and then someone had to eject it.
I mean... It's not really a someone.
It's Sector 0.5. But this turns out Sector 0.5 is the domain of everybody's favorite shouty lizard. And here we go, close-up of a good suit color combination. Look at how classy this looks, that purple and teal.
Craigasm.
Yeah, there you go. That's the appropriate response to that color combination.
Alright, I need everyone to turn up their volume as loud as they possibly can in about another 2 minutes.
Unless you're wearing headphones, in which case you probably shouldn't.
In which case you should probably turn them even more.
Please, I don't want to give anyone out there tinnitus today.
I mean, it's not really our fault. We're just endorsing it.
Oh, here's a fun trick.
I'm endorsing it.
Those gold pirates, you're supposed to shoot them in the back. But some programmer who, legitimately, this is actually a clever way of coding it, decided, hey, if you're facing the same direction, you're behind them shooting them, right? Usually, but turns out that you can kind of cheat that a little bit by shooting and then quickly turning around. Because the plasma beam goes through enemies. And here he is.
Ridley Rage.
Ridley Rage.
So, you definitely want to shoot your charge shot through Ridley rather than just spamming missiles. Because plasma obviously goes through him, which deals a lot of damage. It does, if I remember right, 27 damage a frame. So, definitely makes quick work of him. And especially if you do it diagonally. Because he has a square hitbox, so if you shoot the beam into him diagonally, it'll be in him longer.
Geometry.
Some good old 45, 90s.
I don't think JC got any doubles there because, but he certainly tried. Just those diffusion doubles are so difficult.
Yeah, normally it'd be pretty. It's pretty rare to see anyone get really more than one double on the Ridley core.
I will say though, he only got one during his last race, but I have seen Yuri get multiples. He's actually gotten surprisingly good at those diffusion doubles.
It's one of those things where once you practice it more, it definitely becomes a lot easier. Because you just kind of understand it.
Yeah, but the diffusions are definitely the hardest ones to get, just because if you're doing the normal setup of having them fly at you at a high angle, you have to have the X almost be off screen when you're setting up for it, so it's a bit harder to get it figured out.
Now we're going to do cleanup. Never mind. Now we're going to leave Sector 1 actually. And go straight to the operations deck to blow up the ship.
Because this place has been kind of mean to us, so screw it, we're going to send it down into the planet.
Fine why not? It's fun for the whole family.
The lore reason is because we have to make sure that the X-Parasites don't leave. The real reason is, well, because the Galactic Federation had it coming, let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, that's actually kind of also the lore reason now that I think about it.
Yeah, I mean, the Galactic Federation is just like, Samus, you can't leave. And then the computer, and then she's just like, she like calls the computer Adam. And now all of a sudden, the computer obeys her every single word. As well as giving her advice, which his advice is to blow up the ship and possibly yourself, so that the Galactic Federation can't get killed by the X.
What? No, that's not at all.
Well, yeah, it is, because they want to come.
Samus wants to do a suicide mission. The computer says, "Don't be an idiot. You can do this without killing yourself. Here, just do this."
That's basically the same thing. Maybe.
No, it's not.
See, look, soon as the Federation ships land, the X will overwhelm them and absorb their knowledge. So they'll die.
Yeah, which is why she has to take care of the station before they show up, because otherwise, everything's done for.
I will not kill Metroids. I will not kill Metroids. I will not kill Metroids.
Baby thump.
Bart, as he writes on the chalkboard.
Oh Lord. Oh yeah, so we're just trying to fill the time because this is the longest dialogue of the entire game. It's absolutely resident sleeper. Oh my God. I think we put Monkey to sleep. Noxious Crow, I'm pretty sure they tried that, but they just couldn't figure it out. See also pirate lore entries in Metroid Prime. Alright. JC has made it through the wall of text and is on his way to fight the Sax.
You know, I just had a really good thought. So,
a good thought.
Okay. It's not a good thought, but it's... Okay, so Metroid Prime 1, Metroid Prime 2, and Metroid Prime 3. They're all prime numbers. Is Metroid Prime 4 going to be called Metroid Composite? Because it is a composite number?
Metroid Prime 1 is not a prime number.
You just debunked my entire theory, thanks.
You're welcome. Happy to help.
Never mind then. Metroid Composite when?
Well, I mean, Composite and Fusion are... You know, Metroid Composite sounds like what you get if you make a Chinese bootleg of Metroid Fusion, you just translate it incorrectly.
Oh, so the hack that is recently surfaced?
Yeah, sure, why not?
AKA Shinespark Hell?
Alright, but anyway, speaking of unpleasantness, it's time for the Sax fight. Let's see if JC can get the quick setup here. He wants to freeze the Sax, and then get diagonal shots and keep it frozen by refiring a missile very quickly, and he seems to have gotten a 4-shot, very nice.
5-shot.
Okay, I miscounted.
Yeah, 4 shots is optimal there, but... Yeah.
Still, 5 shots is still very good. Usually the strat will get you anywhere between 4 to 6 shots, depending on your specific angle.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying for doubles, but again, doubles are pretty difficult to get on this course, so I can't tell how many he's actually gotten.
I think he's gotten 1? Yeah, he got 1.
Alright. And with that, only thing standing between JC and the end is the big boy, the Omega Metroid.
Oh, can't wait.
Propulsion sequence
which there's actually two setups for quick killing the Omega, so JaySee should be fine, but once he decides to start styling it, in which case, who knows?
Pogo.
Yeah, he could go for Pogo.
Floating death. That's always a good one.
That is, I'm still not even sure how to set the floating one.
Basically, all you have to do is just, as he's jumping back towards you, just kill him in the air, and he'll just die while he's floating. So, there's one more low height that you can do there, but
You didn't quite get it.
JaySee just, yeah, just shine spark right into the wall.
Yeah, well, to be fair, that one actually is a much harder low height to get than the one in Sector 4.
Yeah, that one I'm pretty sure is actually frame perfect. While the other one is probably like a three frame window.
Is this one frame perfect? I thought it was a little bit more forgiving.
Yeah,
than
that one is definitely way tighter than the one in Sector 4. And the Sector 4 one is definitely no more than like 4 frames.
Okay.
So it's probably 1 to 2 frame window. And JaySee gets the stun lock, so there it is.
Just like that. Yep. Now we just have to wait and just going to make some dents in the floor with ice missiles here. At least
there needs to be more dents.
Yeah, time is on loss of control when the teleporty beam comes down, and
done.
Done.
Final SRL time of 1:21:47.
And just like that, so long SR388, forever.
I know MetroidMaster wants to do an interview. I'm not sure about JaySee.
Well, we'll bring in MetroidMaster while JaySee is finishing up.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
Hello
How's it
there.
going?
Oh, you know, hang on, give me 1 sec, sorry. Okay, sorry, I'm, gotta have this mess on stream as well, so I had to turn my mic back on. Hopefully everything comes up alright. Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate way for things to go.
Yeah, so I guess I placed the power bomb a little too early because it only popped 2 of the blocks. Like, I just needed 1 more. Had I placed it just like a half second later or something and got that last tile, I would have been okay. But then the Sax just caught up to me and owned me, and oh my lord, that was not pleasant. So, yeah, no.
Not at all.
Ice Beam hurts a lot, even with various food.
It's like 200 damage, it's not nice.
Yeah, and then, like, I skipped the E-Tank that I usually pick up in Sector 1. That I picked up my last PB. It's like, okay, I probably don't need it. Well, I guess I needed it this time.
Isn't that just how it always goes?
Yeah, and then, what was it, for, the first visit to Sector 5, I forgot to pick up ice missiles. I'm like, that's never happened before, but okay, it's a race, Race jitters, I guess.
I did notice you were keeping surprisingly decent pace with JaySee up until you did die. I think by the time you died, you were definitely less than 3 minutes behind.
Less than 3 minutes? I mean, I don't know if that's pace, but, like, yeah.
I mean, considering the PB difference, I'd say that's pretty good pace.
That is true. And I was, like, my splits were fairly well ahead until about that time, plus I had to pick up some tanks.
Sector 5's Sax.
Yeah, oh my lord. I placed the power bomb too early, and it blew up, like... I basically only needed like 1 more tile and I would have been able to escape, but
no, you just
didn't, and it caught me.
You just want to wait till the end of the slope.
Yeah. So, something to remember for next time in case I
Yeah.
want to try that. Either that or just delay it. You know, lose a second or two, but
Yeah.
just get it down. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I almost died to Sector 2 Sack's first encounter. Almost died to Sector 5. Almost got stuck in it. Get up to my little hole.
Oh lordy.
I kind of wonder if
was too slow on the second Sector 2 one.
Yeah, they don't seem to like to let you.
yes,
This is something that I've noticed in both Fusion and Zero Mission. It's you can't grab ledges or get into ledges while the power bomb is out for whatever reason.
that's how they decided.
Yeah, you can't grab ledges, but if you're morphed in a ball, you can like fit in there, but you can't ledge grab when you're unmorphed.
For whatever reason, yeah, it will not let me actually catch in the corner, even in Morph Ball. It just will not let me in the hole. For whatever reason. But at least I put up some sort of good fight. That's all that's all I can really say. So we'll see how I do. Is it double elimination or single?
It's double elimination.
Okay, so I'm in losers. So we'll see how I do in losers bracket for Fusion.
Well, you'll be facing off against Flipside actually.
Okay.
Yep.
That'll be interesting.
You gotta flip the sides in your favor.
Which is interesting because both of you actually have been sent to the losers because of unfortunate deaths to Sack. So here's both your chances to kind of have a little bit of vindication there.
Okay, yeah.
And you two have pretty similar PBs as well.
Alright, so at least then it should be a good race, although I might keep working on this PB because I forgot like how much fun Fusion is to run, and it's almost like a breath of fresh air, especially having come from running Zero Mission so much. I still prefer Zero Mission, but this is still a fun game to run.
No, yeah, I absolutely feel you, because ZM was the one I learned first, and I've been having a lot of fun with Fusion, so...
Yeah.
Fusion fun, lol!
Whoops, I guess I'm picking my first commentator ever.
Monkey, I think I've had enough with your sassy mouth today.
What?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Monkey. I had a few times where I'm like, dang it, Monkey. Like, I stopped playing, right, and just went to watch the stream, so I'm listening to commentary. I'm just like... Monkey, please. Monkey, please.
JC,
Okay.
you missed some intellectual comments during the race.
That's not the word I would use.
I'm still wondering what was said about me, so I'll have to watch the VOD later and find out.
Well, I taught everyone how to load GBI using a Wii.
Mm-hmm.
We actually did have a thought. We saw the Dolphin. We're just kind of like, I wonder if it could be possible to load GBI through Dolphin and just run an emulator on an emulator.
You probably could. It'd be so bad.
Oh
The other
my.
thought that I had, if you run GBI through Dolphin, that isn't even cheating, because it's double cheating, and double negative equal positive.
If you say so.
I mean, if you really want to say that, sure. I guess.
I mean, that's not how adding works.
Well, W emulator is two negatives, because
Okay,
you're
whatever.
double cheating.
Okay, moving on.
I don't think they really cancel each other out. That just makes you more of a, yeah. Can't say that on speed gaming.
Nope, we're going elsewhere.
More
Too
of a
hot for speed
cheater.
gaming.
Okay.
Vac.
Can't have that kind of spice here. My channel is fine, but yeah, can't have that spice.
Oh my goodness! But
Yep. I kind of wonder how many heart attacks I gave people that are in this run and somehow still got a sub 50.
you did get a sub 50. Dang.
I mean, other than my death, I wonder how many heart attacks I gave for funny moments.
But yeah, with that, let's actually take a look and see what happens. JC looks like you're going to be facing off against Yuri in the next round.
Ooh.
Easy
Yep.
win. I mean,
Is
what?
that just how we pronounce his name? Is Yuri? Because it popped into my chat and I tried to say, how do I pronounce this? That Y at the end just throws me off.
Yeah. But
It's not like the same concept as key, like the same spelling as key.
I guess.
so for I guess upcoming fusion races, we have tomorrow at 4 p.m. EST. We have Destructor and TG Revenge. And then after that, at 7 p.m., we have Stricer versus Crunchy.
Oh boy.
It's be a fun race.
So that'll be interesting. And then I guess I should probably plug this on Friday at I think 7 p.m. EST is my race. So be sure to watch that.
Who are you
Watch
racing
some,
against?
I'll make sure.
Dan React. Make sure to watch that so you can see
Friday.
me get some wave core doubles.
Yes, we have to see those wave core doubles that you were talking about.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
it's like-
grind them out.
I'm going to make sure everyone I know watches them so that way when you don't get them, we can laugh at you.
Yes, we will call you out. Oh wait, you said what time is the race?
7 p.m. EST on Friday.
Rip, I have to work.
Don't worry, we highlight every single match. You can always go back on YouTube and watch it within a week or so.
That I can.
Oh.
That I
Sure, that's
can.
true.
But then I can't provide intellectual commentary.
Oh. It's what it is.
Yeah. I'm sure there will eventually be a race that I can watch.
Oh yeah. Well, I think that about does it for us. I don't know what's coming up right after this.
On this channel, absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, on Speed Gaming, both 1 and 2, we have Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, in about 10 minutes, and then after that on Speed Gaming 1 is Super Metroid. So.
Hey.
Yeah, that random category races have actually been pretty interesting. There's some categories that I had not even thought about. I hadn't even seen raced before, so it's been pretty cool to watch.
I'm
Alright.
curious to see how that works.
I'll do a random category. It'll be random between 1% and 0%.
Fun.
Uh,
So
that-
random between JP and English.
Pretty much. Hold on. There's also like 1% hard that we can toss in.
oh
No.
boy.
Random low percents.
I mean, you could do 0% hard just with Bob Skip, the old way.
The one where I interface my entire body into the GameCube so I can get frame perfect inputs.
Mm-hmm.
No.
There you
Okay.
go.
Just become a human test, you know?
Yeah. There's a glitch in that system.
Oh.
I thought that was Darbian. I don't know if you can become Darbian.
Nope. I cannot.
Well.
Anyways,
Yeah,
that was Metroid Fusion. Completed
Yes, it was.
relatively quickly.
Relatively.
Congrats to JC for advancing. MetroidMaster, you're still not out of it yet, so we look forward to seeing your next race and seeing you can fight back.
I'm looking to see what my loser's run looks like.
Any final words from you guys before we, I guess, sign off?
Yeah, that was so fun at the very start. Pressing R, then my menu comes up. It's like, what's going on?
Yeah, that was a bit of a surprise.
Which one?
some random wrong configuration got loaded. So L and R were mapped to start and select, and X and Y on my GameCube controller was supposed to be the L and R.
Interesting.
Except I don't have an X and Y and X button on my SP.
Yeah. That's no fun.
That wouldn't have worked out really well.
I
No,
guess
it
it's good
wouldn't
because
have.
we got to utilize our full 2-hour time slot.
Oh yeah, we can
There you go.
maximize content.
Hey.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, no, that restart, like, I was ahead on my, for the restart, I was like, no, I'm gonna play fair, I'm gonna be nice. Like, hey, someone's having controller issues, alright, I may be ahead, but I'm not an asshole. Whoops. I wasn't supposed to say that on speed gaming.
Not an
Oh, well,
arsehole.
it's fine.
Yeah. we're
Anyway.
supposed to be esports.
Are we?
Are we?
I mean,
Anyways.
Fusion is basically esports.
All right.
Anyways, go ahead. Go watch some Sonic Adventure 2 battle. There should be
Yeah.
some fun races. We'll get a multi-twitch up and watch both races at the same time.
Ooh.
That's some next level right there.
Now that's alpha gaming.
Hey, I've got 2 monitors, so I can just kind of, pop one up on each.
Yeah, but yeah, go watch some. Got some great stuff on Speed Gaming, Sonic Adventure, some Super Metroid later, and Fusion returns tomorrow. So come back for that.
Also, don't forget to give the racers a follow.
Absolutely, they did a great job. But thanks for watching, everybody. Have yourself a good night, and we'll see you next mission.
Don't die.